Come on in the room. Oh. Hey, y'all, how you doing? I don't know why I say the same thing every time I come on, every interview I ever do. But anyway, this is Devon Mickey. Excuse me for I'm mourning. I'm in weeping. This is rest. No, I'm messing with you. But anyway, I'm here at the great New Calvary here in the wonderful city of Norfolk, Virginia, where I'm privileged to interview my brother and my friend, the one and only, the professor himself, the one and only Dr. Well, I'm prophesying. Willie Moody. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, man.
Listen, thank you for taking so much time out your busy schedule. I know that you have a lot going on, but thank you for talking to Tidewater today. So, as I normally do with all of my interviewees, I'm going to ask that you would open us up with a song that's on your heart and whatever you would like to do.
This is one of my favorite hymns. I don't consider myself a keyboardist, so
I beg
but I'll do my best with what you've asked me to do. This
yes,
is
sir.
Yield Not to Temptation.
Listen, that's classic. I love the hymn. So you already starting off on my speed, Elder. You know, I love the Elder. So Elder, tell us who is Willie Moody? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you from, your background, some of your influences. Who do you study? Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, Willie Moody is this little kid, not a kid anymore. But, I was born in Mississippi, and most of us know the history of Ole Miss. I was born from my parents were sharecroppers. So I was born in a little town called Dundee, Mississippi, 50 miles south of Mississippi, 1965. And at the age of 2, my parents moved up to Indiana. I was reared in Gary, Indiana, graduated from high school there. Then eventually went on to Roosevelt University in Chicago. I spent a year there as a core music education major. I went for 1 semester to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, again as a core music education major. Yeah, UAPB all the way. Spent 4 years in the Navy as a hospital corpsman in the reserves, actually, and that's what ended up bringing me here in 1987 is when I arrived here in Virginia. Been here ever since.
Oh, so you didn't. This is home now.
This is home now.
Yes.
I've been here 31 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 87, Lord.
87.
I was 5, 6 years old, Elder. But anyway, listen. When I think of Willie Moody, I think of precision. I think of someone that is very intentional for what he does when it comes to teaching, and as a very profound and established minister of music, what are some of the strengths that you've learned over the years as being a leader as far as directing various ministries? Because I know you've had churches that may have not have had the best choir members or musicians, and I've seen you cultivate something. So what are some of the approaches that you use when developing your music department?
One of the things that I really look at is the potential that choir members have. When I think back when I first started out in the music ministry at age 15, I started out at a little church called Travelers Rest Missionary Baptist Church in Gary. It was a church that was starting out, actually, and I was their very first musician. And it seems like every church that the Lord has assigned me to, it's been a work where I've had to develop singers and give everybody an opportunity to develop them as excellent, as good singers, as excellent, to bring the best out of them.
Right.
One of the things I sometimes look at is Lord, you place me in places where I don't really have strong singers, but I have people who really love the Lord, who have the potential that helps me to bring the best out of them. And so what I look at is the potential that they have. Look at the strengths that I have. I have an excellent ear.
Yes, you do.
I tell them, even if I hear a sound coming from a section, I may look at the individual, but I'm looking at the whole section.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I hear the wrong part, my radar ears move directly to the. And I believe in correcting as much as I can and getting them to sing the part as best as I'm teaching it. I don't beat them and wear them out.
Right.
Sometimes I compromise as long as if it fits within the song. Because I don't want to wear the singers out, and I want them to feel good about offering their gifts unto the Lord. They don't have to be they don't have to be from Hezekiah Walker.
Right.
Ricky Dillers. They are, just for instance, I just happen to be here in New Calvary. You're New Calvary.
Yeah. Man, this is amazing. I've really been following you since I went to college in Norfolk State in 2000, and when I came, I remember hearing about Willie Moody, especially when I went over to First Baptist Lambert Point, and I was young. I think I was just 21 and just learning. And I remember all of the levels that I had to live up to, because they were like, this is the standard that was set, so you had to follow this. So I really appreciate the professionalism that you bring when it comes to planning. From the minister of music, I noticed that you're always planning and you're executing things with excellence as far as email, music. How do you go about planning? Like your typical Sunday, what do you do in planning for that particular week? Like this coming Sunday, it's Easter Sunday. How do you plan for your music department?
And let me just preference by saying, and in a lot of our readings, for those of us who come up from we still have some of the old musicians, I don't want to say old, some of our seasoned, because I'm reaching that, and some of the writings, a lot of the writings talk about you have to have an anthem, you have to have a hymn, you got to have a spiritual. I've not been in a position where I've had people that can read, people that can do the anthems and to sing, and I don't always have the pastors that I've been serving under. They don't always give me a theme. That's another thing. Your songs need to align with the preaching. I don't have that because the pastors I've served with don't provide that to me. So I depend on, number one, having a great relationship with the pastor, learning his style. And watching him, and there's some things that he may like, and so from if there's a series that he's preaching on, throughout the week I'm listening to songs. Thank God for technology.
Yes, sir.
YouTube, iTunes, and all of that, and that's. I actually start on Mondays listening to music. I keep a list of songs that I want to teach. I have probably over 100 songs. That I want to teach. From that list, I may be only teaching 5, but it depends upon how my choir gets through the song. I'm always looking at the year. With us as Baptists, we don't really follow the Christian calendar. But I generally tend to follow it myself in terms of when it comes to, because the churches where I serve, we still sing hymns.
Absolutely.
I love the hymns, so I try to base even my selection on songs around the theme of the calendar year.
So even speaking on hymns, I'm going to ask you to play something, because hymns is, how can I say it? It's one of the dying arts in a younger generation, and a lot of people always ask me, "Hey, Minister Mickey, how did you know so many hymns, and how do you learn hymns?" Or I didn't grow up in a church that sung hymns, and all I know is CCM or contemporary songs. So could you demonstrate playing a hymn that you may have liked to sing, or actually, would you mind singing something? I know I put you on the spot. You don't have to do the full Willie Moody, but you could sing whatever hymn that you would like to play or sing. Would be great. Sorry for putting you on the spot.
our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what often forfeit. Oh, what needless pains we bear.
Sing, Willie.
All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer.
All right. All right.
One of the things about the hymn, when I was at Mount Pleasant, there was a young kid. He was 19 when he came as my assistant. The young man, he came out of Apostolic. He could really play the he could really play the organ, Hammond organ. He could play keys as well, and so he used a lot of jazz chords. One of the things that I stressed with him, take some of those jazz chords out.
Yeah.
Play it straight. There'll be opportunities and a solo instrumental moment to add those things. But the church needs to especially those old mothers and the fathers, the baby boomers.
Yes, sir.
They need to recognize the hymn. Don't make it unrecognizable, because again, there'll be moments when you can add and color the song, but while the congregation is singing, keep it to a minimum.
Right.
You know, even when I was playing, there was some things that I wasn't playing it straight.
Right.
But play it as straight as you can, and then there'll be the moments where you can doctor it up.
So even when you're playing hymns, if I understand correct, I think you said you can read music, right?
Yes.
So the benefit of reading music as opposed to solely playing by ear, what do you prefer? Now, as a minister of music, would you rather have someone that can read and play by ear, or vice versa, or does it matter to you?
Well, for me, it would be, for instance, for here at New Calvary, there are some songs that I would like to. There's some anthems, light anthems that I would like to do. There's some spirituals that I would like to do. So for me, it's not imperative that a person be proficient, but at least if I want to do sectionals, because we have a choir room, we can, I could go have the other musician teach the parts. Right.
Well, that's beneficial. Now, how long? Now, when it comes to reading music, because a lot of people say, hey, I only can play in certain keys, or how do you play in all of your keys, and I don't know how to read music and I only play by ear. What advice would you give to a young musician who is just starting out, who may not have the opportunity to sit under a seasoned musician that would teach them and pour into them? What advice would you give to a young musician that's coming up and wanting to learn how to play?
I would encourage the young person to just stick with it, to at least try. When I started taking piano lessons as a young kid, but I was a lazy musician in turn. I didn't like to practice. What I wanted to do was to be able to just look at the music and start playing right away, instead of putting in the work that it takes. So this is something that does not come overnight. Just like even if you're playing by ear, those persons who can go up and down, they're practicing that just as you practice playing by ear and finger dexterity and all that. Same thing you have to do is take the time to look at the music and to try to read it. And that's one of the things that I would encourage them to do. We have a lot of technological advances now. You have people on YouTube that you can download. There's software that you can download to help you to read. And for me, what helped me was, and when you talk about learning on the hymns, when I was growing up, that we had what we call the top 10. Oh, how I love Jesus. What a friend. But when I came here to Virginia, I needed to pick up my repertoire. So being able to read helped me to pick out the parts and to be able to play them. So stick with it. If there's somebody you look up to, partner with, find a mentor, but don't give up. Even though I was a lazy musician, I always bought music books.
Yeah, then that's key.
Again, you can download. I can download cheap music.
Right.
If there's a song that I'm looking for, sometimes on the recordings we can't understand what the musicians may be playing. If I have the music, then I'll be able to go and find out the part, or I can pick out the parts.
Right.
So,
Right. So, you said something that was really good. It's good to be able to invest in what you want to do, because you said something about purchasing books and investing in your what you wanted to do, because you knew that you wouldn't be able to hear all the parts of the music, so you had to buy music and you had to buy books, and I think that's important, because every musician needs someone that they can look to for kind of imparting or mentorship when it comes to playing, because nobody knows it all, and I believe we always can learn something from everybody. And I know I haven't even asked you. So being able to read, you can actually open up the book and just almost play anything.
I'm not gonna say I can almost play anything, but I can play the music.
Okay.
But again, it's work for me, because at my age I should have stuck with it. But I thank God that I didn't let that deter me. Just because I would start lessons and then I'd stop, take it for a few months. And but I realized the value. I didn't know where God would have me, but I kept with it. And then with me growing up, I was in choral program, and then I had music teachers who, if you're gonna be, if you want to be a music teacher, which was actually I wanted to be a choral music education major, but then plans got changed. But God still had me in a position where I have to read the music.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that, because even with schooling, I guess you're never too old to stop learning, because if I understand correctly, you're in school now, right?
I am in school now, yeah.
Wow. And what is your major?
My major is I'm working on doctorate in ministry. Doctorate in ministry in worship. So it's a D-man in worship specific.
So when you say doctorate in music, just in a brief nutshell, what is that? What does that mean?
The doctorate in ministry.
Okay.
For me, it's actually a professional development for ministers. Generally, you would have a doctorate of ministry, which would be a general educational program for persons who are ministers or pastors or any type of preacher. But mine is specific for worship. Okay. So even though I'm taking the core classes that will be applicable to any ministry leader, any pastor, but the development part for me is as a worship leader. So I'm taking classes that deal specifically with the ministry of music, with worship, biblical model of worship. So that's what mine is, to help me to be a better minister of music.
So that's amazing, because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about how long you've been playing and how much you have been an inspiration and a leader in this area, and you're still progressive enough to know that I need to get some further papering behind my name so that I can be, where I need to be. Because a lot of people always ask me, Mickey, can you get me somewhere playing? How much they're paying? Or what's the money about? And, how long is the service and stuff like that. But they don't want to put the time into practice. They don't want to put the time in to learn to read or to do the necessary things in order to further their playing career. So even before I actually play again, what is about the total musician? A lot of musicians, what is your, I kind of already know what you're going to say, but what's your approach when it comes to the overall musician, when it comes to character, professionalism, being prompt, being prepared, because they quick to ask for $300, $400, $500 a Sunday when they ain't spending but 30 minutes learning music and halfway teaching parts. What's your approach about how a musician should be?
My first approach would be, and what I would say to musicians, is to know who you are in God. First of all, we have to recognize that we are all born again, that we're all blood washed, that we're sons and daughters of the risen Savior. So that's when we work on our relationship with God, everything else, all the fellowships that we are involved will come into play. So being a student of the Word, because if you want to carry the title of director of music, minister of music, there are going to be some it's a road of hard knocks because we're dealing with people, and all of us have our own issues, and we have to be able to respond in kind, in love. You have to determine what type of musician you want to be.
Yeah.
Are you going to be an all-around musician who can play all instruments?
Right.
What is your focus going to be? The keyboard, or is your focus going to be on the organ? Are you going to be a musician who teaches part? And all of this comes into when people are starting to ask for dollars. What do you bring to the table? Are you a musician who can sing and teach parts? Are you a musician who can direct and play? For most of my ministry assignments, I've not always had directors, so I perfected the art of directing and playing.
Yes.
I don't like to have to do it, but I do it, and so the Lord has blessed me in that. Being on time. You got to be on time, and I'm still. I got to work on myself as well. If we're asking our musicians and singers, we can't be showing up 30 and 40 minutes late.
That's right.
And if you're going to be late for rehearsals, be responsible to contact whoever is your leader. Here at New Calvary, I have, of course, the pastor is who I report to, but we also have a personnel committee. So I have to report to the chairman of personnel. If you have an assistant, let your musicians stay in contact with your musicians. Get the music to your choir members in a timely manner. And particularly, one of the things that I've had to learn to work with, I've been a musician by myself for so long. I have a supporting staff. So that means versus me, because I was known for getting songs the night before, the night of rehearsal while I'm at work. So while I'm doing my work, I'm thinking of songs, or I might be writing a song for rehearsal. Now I have to remember, I need to get these songs to the musicians in enough time. Study. Study your craft. Have a mentor. And don't be a loner.
Watch it. That's it. That's good.
We can be islands unto our own selves, stuck in our own churches. One of the things, with our fellowship that we just had, that's wonderful. I look forward to that because I need to learn from other musicians as well, other directors. So partner with, and you're never too old, never too young to go to school. If you can afford to, go to school. If not, YouTube.
Listen, it's so much available at our fingertips. It's no excuse for there to be, as I've heard people say, a lazy musician, because we have people that's approachable. We have YouTube, we have iTunes, we have downloadable, we have books, we have computer software, we have so much. So if you really want to do it, there's really no excuse. And I'm just at awe, because at your age in playing and in physical age, I guess, not to call you old, but you're still furthering your craft by, getting it so that you just won't be called, oh, that's Willie who plays over there. No, that's Dr. Moody, because he has earned the right to, I really appreciate that, because that gives us something to aspire to as young musicians. So,
just one other thing that I want to piggyback on something that you were saying earlier about investing. One of the things that I always stress to my choir members, even though I bring you a song, I will tell you where a song. Go to YouTube and please invest in our artists. We have a lot of wonderful artists right here in our own area, folk who are aspiring, but they can't continue to do the things that we do if we're all just downloading from YouTube. I buy.
That's right. We got to buy.
I buy. I used to buy with albums.
You're telling on yourself now. You're telling on yourself.
Cassettes. Then they moved to CDs. Then they moved to digital. So I'm always downloading and purchasing because I believe in supporting the artists, not only the artists, but the writers. Most of the time, we don't know who the writers of songs are. We just know who the choir or the artist that sings.
Now, have you written any music or putting out any albums or anything like that?
I've not done a whole lot of writing.
Okay.
Sylvester Starks and Voices of Expression, they recorded 2 of my songs. I've had 2 songs submitted to the Gospel Music Workshop of America. I've had a song submitted to the Thomas Dorsey Convention.
Okay.
So yes, I do write. Not as much as I want to, but I do.
Now, how much would it be on the spot if I asked you to play one of your songs that you wrote? Because this is while you getting that together, I'm gonna say something to the people. Listen, you all share this video today. Today I'm with the one and only Elder Willie Moody, and not only is he a tenured musician here in Tidewater, but he knows his craft. He's professional. Y'all share this. This is not so much about playing today. This is more getting the how to set up your ministry music department and how to order yourself so you could be the best in your game. So y'all share this, y'all share this, y'all share this. So we're going to turn this back around and go to you now, Elder Moody. So if you could, what's the name of this original?
This one is called, and I think I may have changed the name before, Keep His Commandments. Called Keep His Commandments.
And somebody just said, please have him to sing, There Is No One Like Our God.
Oh, that's the other one that I...
Oh, that's what somebody just said.
Song.
He said that's a hot. Or either one you want to do. That's what somebody commented.
No, that's a hot one.
Listen, Ricky, he said that's too high. We gotta do another one. Somebody said, Ricky, that's my favorite song. Well, he gonna do the other one today, Ricky.
Let me see let me go and try and honor this request.
He gonna try to do it, Ricky.
Trying to remember. There's no one like a God.
Yeah.
I will sing of His mercy.
Yes, sir.
Of the Lord forever. In His name we rejoice, for He is our wonder. Who in heaven can do the thing you do?
Yes, sir. Listen, Ricky, he did that for you. And listen, it's amazing. I be like, how can you keep your range? I'm struggling right there at that second tenor baritone on regular days. But listen, this first tenor you have is amazing. Listen, one last question before we go to our end of the segment. I really want to know, how have you made, when people think of who Willie Moody is years to come, and you move to another area or whatever may happen, what would you want your legacy to be left as? When they say, yeah, I remember Willie Moody, yeah, I remember Dr. Moody, what would you want that to be?
I want them to remember me as somebody who loves God and a person who is very serious about music ministry. Mm-hmm. And if you want to know that he's serious about music ministry, make a mistake, and you'll see it in his face.
I love it.
His eyes will tell it. That's one of the things that people constantly tell me. It's just automatic. If I hear something and I just want it to be right, so that we can present excellence. Why should not church choirs be able to present excellence? And so I want them to remember me as somebody who loves the Lord, who loves to worship, and who loves to make sure that the choir gets it right.
We need more directors like yourself, because sometimes we just hear a song and we know the chord is supposed to be one thing, and we just bypass it for the sake of time or not wanting to get on people's nerves or see their faces. But as directors, I'm learning, listen, you have a job to do, and your job is to be as perfectionist as possible. I know I said that out of context, but it's our job to try to get as close to the record before we deviate.
Yeah. And for those who are ministers of music or directors of music, and if you have directors, please make sure your directors are not just up there waving their arms. They need to know the parts
Yes,
themselves.
sir.
It's one thing, if there's one thing that really gets me, is if a section is singing a wrong part and the director lets them continue. No, as a director, you have to correct them right on the spot.
Now, Ben, I was just working with you for our joint fellowship service, the revival, and we had a very intense rehearsal on the Saturday, and we learned, I think, about 6 or 7 songs on that rehearsal. Now, when it comes to rehearsal, how do you like for your rehearsals to be ran? You know, some people like to, laugh and joke, and some people wear their feelings on their sleeves and they can't take correction well. What is your approach about the rehearsal? How should choir members come to rehearsal?
Choir members should come to rehearsal ready to work. And one of the things that I share with I have a couple of choir members, and it seems like every church that I've served, there's always one or two who gets very upset. Like you say, they wear their feelings on their sleeves, and then they'll pull me to the side. Well, you talked to me, you called me out, and you fussed at me. I'm looking at the one way I try to get around that is look at the whole section. Yeah. And I tell my choir members, even if I know that who the individual is, so that I won't embarrass the person, because everybody around them already know who it is. I will look at the whole section. I will say altos, sopranos. Now, if it goes on too long, if I'm trying to correct a part and it's a repeat, then I'm going to call the person's name. Because they already know that they're the guilty one. And one of the things that I don't like to do during rehearsals, I don't like to play the songs. Some musicians will, during the rehearsals, they'll play the songs that they're getting ready to sing. One reason I don't like to do that, sometimes there might be a song that there may be a part that I know that my choir cannot do, so that I may
change the key.
And then if they're listening to it during the rehearsal, well, don't go, because I have that to happen.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that's not the way. I'm the one that's teaching. If you want to come and teach the choir, then come down here and teach.
Listen, I just before I actually play the last song, I have to ask you, now what do you do? Because I'm a minister of music, and I mean I've been in my current position for about maybe 6 months, but I've been doing this for 15, 20 years. How do you handle that choir member that knows it all, that's arrived, that's always finding an error, something that you do, talking about the grammar is wrong or the note is incorrect? How do you handle them and still lead them?
I use humor.
Okay.
At the same time, I use humor, and then I'm also serious.
Right.
I try to develop relationships with my choir members outside of the rehearsal. One of the things, as a minister of music, I don't just participate on Sunday morning. But I participate as much as I can in other activities, other social events that the church might be having, whether it's a picnic, whether it's a skating party, or so that I can get to know my members. Then if that particular because I'm in that situation.
I know what you mean.
But one of the, I just have that look. They call it the moody look.
The moody look.
I give them the moody look.
What's the moody look?
And then they bring it down. And then I also have other choir members who kind of police. They will tap in. So that's how I handle it.
And I really enjoyed, even Saturday, it's a couple of people who I know that they were there, and when things will get out of hand or something will be crazy, I can hear them, all right now, all right, that's enough. And it's not a way of being disrespectful to you or even to them, but it's just like, we're going to echo what our minister of music is doing. And I really think that every choir should have such a relationship that they can echo the sentiments of the leader without, trying to take over or be disrespectful. I really appreciate that. So, listen, I'm just so honored because I'm gaining so much wealth of knowledge, because you remind me of something that you always should be evolving. You always should be learning. You should never settle for just doing stuff at mediocrity. You should be striving your best to do it with the level of excellence. And I really thank you so much for talking to Tidewater. And I would like for you to play something else before you play Always Remember Jesus. So is there anything else? Now, I do know that you like CCM contemporary music. Is there a contemporary song that you like to play, or that you wouldn't mind playing for us?
I need to practice this thing.
Lord.
And when you asked about the CCM, I do love CCM because I'm part of Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship, my home church, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church.
Mount Pleasant.
Overseer William Davis Jr., my pastor. So we're under, of course, Bishop Joseph Walker III now. Bishop William Murphy III is our Bishop of Worship. So that's how actually Byron Cage, when I started with Full Gospel.
Right.
Was,
oh, wow.
Byron Cage.
You tell your age now.
Well, for those who might be wondering, I'm 52, I'll be 53.
Wow, you're looking good, sir. Go ahead.
I started when I was 15 playing.
Oh, so you've been
in the Sunday school.
Oh, so
that's back in the day when we had music for the Sunday school.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
Let me see. What was that song?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the chording, the phrasing. I had to learn 1, 4, 5. That was one because I used to go to E flat, go to A flat. That became too much. So whether 1, 2, go to 6. So, and that's another part of learning. Not only knowing the keys, but know your numbers.
The numbers, because some people don't. I have bass players sometimes that they may not know the numbers; they know the letters.
Right.
But sometimes numbers are easier to hold up than it is. So
got to turn around real quick.
So I really appreciate you taking time, Willie, and you all share this video. It's still over 20 people up here. You all share this video. We really thank God for New Calvary allowing us to come on in and talk to you. So there's a song that I ask everybody to close out on, and you can do it in your own fashion. If you want to just play it, if you want to sing it and play it. However you want to do it, I ask all my interviewees to end on always remember Jesus. So if you would bless us and grace us with that, sir, we'd be so ever grateful.
Always remember Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Always remember
there you have it. Thank you so much, Elder Moody. I'll turn the camera with me. Thank you for opening up your doors, and listen, y'all share this video, and when this TV show that I'm hosting becomes famous, I'm going to have Willie to come back and, well, he'll be Dr. Moody by then. We're going to have Dr. Moody come back and bless us. So y'all share this video, and thank you for tuning in the entire time. So you all have a great day, and stay tuned to whenever you see the hashtag When Tired Water Talks, we're promoting some type of musical excellence, whether it be musicians, singers, preachers, choirs. So I have some great things coming up in store. So stay tuned, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the Facebook page, and feel free to comment if you have anyone in the area that you think that I should interview or that will make good interviews. So thank you so much for staying on, and have a great day.